Ready?
5, 4, 3.
Coming to you from the Poorly Painted Studios in Cumming, Georgia, this is the Chuck and Z Show. And now, here's Chuck and Z.
What up, everybody? Welcome to the Chuck and Z Show. Of course, I'm Chuck.
And I'm Z.
Cowboy Z tonight.
Cowgirl Z.
She did a little thank you, ma'am.
Pardon me.
Pardon me, sir.
And with us, as always, is producer Chaos, Miss Sharon
Hello.
Clark.
Hello, everybody.
The voice.
Oh, yeah, I'm just a voice tonight.
She dubbed herself the voice before the show this evening.
I
love
called
that,
myself
actually.
God. If you hear a voice, yep, is that you, God? Yes.
Yeah.
I didn't know. We found her.
Hey, God, it's me, Z.
Are you there, Margaret? What is that?
Yeah. Oh, my God.
Oh, Lordy. All right. What do we got going on tonight, Miss Voice?
So tonight, we have one of the board members for the Buck Jones Charity Foundation. We would like to welcome to the show, Steve Paris.
Welcome to the show, Steve.
Welcome,
Hi, everyone.
Steve.
Hello.
Thank you for having me.
Hey.
Yeah.
Glad
Well,
to have you.
Yeah. So congratulations on how many years have you been doing the Buck Jones?
This is the 32nd year.
32 years. Now, how long have you been involved with it?
This is the third year that I've been involved.
Wow. Wow. That's crazy. Well, we're going to talk a lot about Buck Jones tonight, right? Because I think it's a great cause. We definitely want to make sure that we get the word out. It's something that speaks to me personally. So I'm very excited to have you here. But I want to find out more about you first. So we're going to dive in. You ready?
I'm ready.
All right. So my first question I want to ask is, your Instagram name is Mr. Vegas. Are you from Vegas? Is that where you grew up?
I grew up in LA, moved to Vegas when I was 21 and lived there for 25 years. And when I moved there was only 175,000 permanent residents. So it was a little dinky town. And if you worked in the hotels, everybody knew everybody. All the dealers knew each other. All the bartenders knew each other. So it was really a small town.
175,000. For reference, Gwinnett County has 2 million people.
Right? When I left there 25 years later, there was 2.4 million. So
Wow.
I saw the growth. I have tokens from every imploded hotel. I have dice. I have cards that were used in play. Dealers' aprons from every hotel that's been imploded.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I know Z and I have a special affinity for Vegas. We got married Christmas Day in Vegas.
Yes.
It was us and everybody
people.
everybody else. Well, there were a lot of Asian people there, but there was nobody else.
In Vegas.
In Vegas.
I thought you meant at our wedding.
Oh, at our wedding. I'm talking about in Vegas.
Yeah. Yes.
What year was that?
2014.
Okay.
Yep. So
Isn't it weird that even when you know the answer, you still get nervous
Mhm.
when that question's asked?
Yeah, she's looking at you.
Yeah, like as soon as you said
You
it, I
better
was
get
like,
that right.
my brain went 14, but then I was like, Now you answer that. You go ahead.
Was Elvis at your wedding, by the way? Was Elvis at your wedding? Come on.
there was an Elvis impersonator. Yeah. Graceland Chapel.
Nice.
It was,
The Graceland Chapel.
Yeah.
Elvis's place.
yes.
Yeah.
It was really fun.
It was actually, she asked me to go to Vegas. So she remembered not my first marriage. And I had said, I'm never getting married again. But if I do, I want to get married in Vegas and I want Elvis to be there. And she remembered that. So after I asked her to marry me, she asked me the next day, where do you want to do it? And I was like, when do you want to do it? And I was like, I'm not sure. She's like, how about Christmas Day in Vegas? And I was like, let's go. So,
It was
She wanted to go now.
yeah, she's
Yeah.
ready. I was ready too. We dated for 4 years.
mhm.
A large part of it was long distance.
distance.
So we were ready. And so I was very excited. And so we have a little bit of a connection to Vegas. I want to go back. That eyeball thing or whatever it is, that
the Sphere.
Oh,
Yeah,
the
the
sphere with
sphere.
the concerts?
Mhm.
And
thing looks nuts.
Yeah, that's new.
I bet
Yeah.
can you see that from space?
I don't know.
such a good question. Wait, let me get my phone.
Yes, Miss Producer. Can you
Google it.
see the sphere in Vegas from space?
So you lived there for 25 years and you said you moved when?
In 1980. Oh,
No,
from Vegas?
Yeah.
I moved from there. I moved here from San Diego 13 years
okay.
ago.
Oh, wow.
So I moved around a little bit after Vegas, but moved here 13 years
You
ago.
went to all the cool spots. I love San Diego.
Mhm.
That's one of my favorite towns in Southern California.
Apparently, you can see it from space.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Just so you know.
It seems like it's big enough
Yeah.
and it's bright enough.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
crazy. So you were born in LA, though.
Correct.
You were born in Gardena.
Yes.
Right.
That's
Which-
not far from the San Fernando Valley where I grew up.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. So what age did you leave LA?
21.
21. And so your formative years when your frontal cortex was developing, that was all in LA.
Mm-hmm.
What was your upbringing like? What kind of home life did you have?
On my 5th birthday, my dad happened to be arrested at my birthday party,
Oh, wow.
and I went into foster care immediately. So that's what's so special about the Buck Jones Charity Foundation
Mm-hmm.
is because I understand what the kids are going through. I understand not having birthdays or Christmas or Thanksgiving. So that's why it's so special to me.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Obviously we've talked a little bit about some of the stuff that I grew up with, but nothing like that. You know, that's the thing is like, no matter where you're at, there always seems to be someone else who's less fortunate than you. I would say I always had Christmas. I mean, it wasn't always, a lot, but they did the best they could.
Yeah.
So I can't imagine what that must have been like. What does that, because one of the questions I'm always curious about with people is when they grow up in a different dichotomy than I grow up in, how does that inform you about the people around you as you grow up in life? Like you look out and you see everybody has their family. People have their parents, and I'm sure that gives you a different perspective as kind of like an outside looking into that particular dynamic.
Mm-hmm.
Right. You wonder who you can trust,
Mhm.
right? You're living in from foster home to foster home to foster home. Who really cares about me? Who's in it for the money? Are they just doing a show for the people that they've got to answer to, right?
Yeah.
Or do they really care?
Right.
And unfortunately, back then, there was no defects that was checking on you, right? So at 10 years old, I got to go back home. So, and then I saw what love was all about.
Mhm.
Right.
So what age did you kind of come to the realization that, like what you said, like worried about if they were really caring about you, if they were just putting on a show? Like at what age did you understand that?
I didn't understand it until I got out,
Okay.
right? I didn't understand what love was because I didn't see that in the foster care system,
Okay.
right?
That makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, that I get that, because a big part of the human condition is needing that emotional connection with other humans, right?
Mm-hmm.
And whether you think of it as an evolutionary trick or you think of it as a genuine metaphysical connection you have with another person, you feel it, right? Whenever you have someone who shares some of the same DNA or chromosome, whatever it is that you have that connection to them. So you know that they have something more than a transient investment in your well-being. They have an emotional and a physical connection to you. And when you're cut off from that, I imagine it does become, nobody here really has that with me. The only other people that probably truly understand what I'm going through are the other people that are going through it with me, And that would make a lot of sense to why your life mission became helping those types of children,
Right.
because those are the ones who understood you and you understand them.
For me, my brother was with me the whole time in foster care. He was 3 years younger than I was. We were both taken out. We were placed in the same place, and every time we moved, we went together. So my brother and I are about as close as two brothers can be.
Mm-hmm.
We've worked together for the last 25 years as partners. And so the two of us had that bond back when we were in the foster care, because I
Yeah.
had to look out for him.
Mm.
I was really his dad, sort of,
Yeah.
at that age, right? I had to watch out and make sure
Yeah.
that nobody picked on him and took care of him and that kind of thing. So still to this day, we're that close.
Yeah.
You and him against the world. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. I came from a large blended family, so there were a lot of kids. And I have the opposite experience in that I'm close to some of them, but not really close. There's just so many. There's so many people around. And like your older brothers and sisters, when you're coming along, they're kind of older, so you don't really get to know them. And then your younger brothers and sisters, when you're older, they're younger, so you don't really get to know them. So you really don't develop those deep it's us against the world connection, because there's a lot of us. If one of us goes, there's 9 more.
Right.
You know?
I remember in the foster system, one of the guys was turning 18, and I was probably in 3rd grade, and I thought, man, is he old? He was going off to Vietnam. He was drafted, right?
Wow.
And I just thought, 18. He had a full beard. That's a grown man.
Right.
You know?
Boy, would that be a wake-up call to today's society.
Mm-hmm.
If this country were to go to a war where they enacted the draft.
Yeah.
No participation trophies on the battlefield. I'll go ahead and let you know that.
Right.
That's going to suck.
Yeah.
I'm actually worried about that. I mean, in this day and age, how many people would dodge it? How many people would actually show up? They don't arrest people for stealing less than $900 these days. Who's going to get in trouble?
Right.
Right.
I think they might dare them. Good. Come get me.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, but then you got to wonder what quality of person goes in. So how can you trust someone that's on the front line? How do they know they can trust the person next to them? Right.
That's true.
I don't
You have no idea. There's no qualifying those people.
No.
They just want
bodies.
people in. That's
Just
it.
bodies.
Just bodies.
Bullet
coming in.
catchers.
Right.
Oh my gosh. Truth. Never heard that
It is the
before.
truth.
It is.
Karen's-
My grandfather fought in World War II. Have I talked about my grandfather on this show before?
A little bit, yeah.
A little bit.
About-
Fought in World War II, lied about his age so he'd go to war. Actually, he was an orphan. His mother died when he was young. His father died a little bit later. He lived with a cousin, his only living relative at that time, who committed suicide. Now he's 14 on the street, lied about his age to go fight World War II. He was a machine gunner. So he was on running. Right?
Right.
I think their life expectancy was like 14 to 15 seconds. He made it all the way through, which is one of the reasons why he started a church when he got back. Just to be honest, he came back and said, I found God.
Right on that field.
Right there in that hole where everybody else was dying.
Right.
Yeah, he said he came back and started a church. But yeah.
God, if you get me through this, it's
Yeah.
me and you.
Well, it's actually a little bit of an interesting story. He was not religious. As a matter of fact, he was pretty anti-religion because look at his life. He had just felt like this can't happen. And what I read, this can't be happening. So he's pretty anti-religion. And he was in a mud hole with another guy who was dying. And the guy asked him to pray. And I listened to my grandfather tell this story from the pulpit so many times. And the guy asked him to pray, and he told him he didn't know the words, and he said, they'll come to you. And so he started praying, and he said, I found God as he died. That's the story my grandfather would tell. And so I guess that was a pretty impactful experience in his life, I can imagine, right?
Correct.
So he came back, started a church. They actually got it burned down in North Carolina because he integrated. And this was in the mountains of North Carolina. They weren't having that. He had to flee North Carolina, apparently.
Yeah.
But anyways, we're not going to derail this on the story about my grandfather. It's a crazy story, but my point is bullet catchers. That was what he said. I was a bullet catcher.
Oh, that's what he called himself.
That's what they put me out there as, was a bullet catcher. Yeah. So went from Los Angeles to Vegas, spent 25 years in Vegas. That had to be a wild time, I can imagine.
21-year-old straight single guy. When
It's like shooting fish in a barrel out there.
Yeah.
There's only 175,000 people.
but there's a lot of tourists.
That's what I'm saying.
You'll never see him again.
Away for the weekend, drunk. Everything that happens there stays
Right,
there,
stays
apparently,
there.
except
Well-
for STDs.
Well, 11 days after arriving in Vegas, I became the very first male cocktail waiter on the Strip in
Yeah.
a major hotel. And I worked at the Sahara Hotel, and there was 500 cocktail waitresses. And
Wow.
so it was
Yeah.
it was a lot of fun.
Sounds like you got a sword in a field of dandelions.
What the heck?
So I had a lot of friends.
That's a country song, Jack.
That's cool. Did you get an award or like anything for that?
No, but people looked
Recognition.
at me kind of funny.
Yeah.
What is that? Who
Yeah.
is that?
Actually, I'd be like, that dude's smart. That dude, I know what you're doing, bro. I know what you're doing. Crafty straight male. I know what you're doing.
Well, the guys at the casino got smart, and they wanted to all become Steve's buddy
Okay.
because they all liked one of the girls.
Yeah.
Because there's only one of you, Steve.
Right.
And there's how many other cocktail waitresses?
500.
I mean, you got to sleep, right? Hey, man, why don't you take Tiffany?
Take a shift.
All right, we could derail this one quick.
Yes.
All right, so Vegas, and then when did you start riding motorcycles?
When I was 12, I got a mini bike. When I was 13, I got on a trail bike that had a clutch,
Mm-hmm.
popped it up in the air, tore the brake light right off the bike, and thought, this is fun. Been riding ever since.
It didn't scare you. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
That's one of the two reactions, right?
Yeah.
The first time you do something on a bike that's a little squirrely, you either go, "Ooh, yeah, give me more of that," or you're like, "That is for other people."
Right. And
Yeah,
I've been riding ever since. I became a hog member for the first time in 1987 when the Las Vegas Harley opened up.
Wow.
And the parking lot you could fit probably 5,000 cars in the parking lot at Las Vegas Harley. It was the largest Harley dealership in the United States until Daytona opened up. And they used to have poker runs, bike nights all the time because year round you could ride just about
Yeah.
in Vegas.
Yeah.
And then they'd have music. All the food at the end was free. You paid
Mhm.
$25 to enter a ride. You got to eat. Sometimes they'd have Evel Knievel signing autographs. So you were always wanting to go to these events because there was something happening, right?
Shit, I want to go.
Is
You can take me back.
that Red Rock?
No, Las Vegas Harley was on the west side of the strip
Mm-hmm.
until recently. Now they're on the strip. And I'm still a hog member with that Las Vegas.
Are you
That's
really?
awesome.
That's
Yeah.
You're the longest standing member?
No,
No.
I'm sure it was one of the employees that worked there.
Oh yeah,
Right.
probably.
I probably came in 6 months. down
Yeah.
the road.
You're like
They're
number
number-
4. You're like 4.
Number
Yeah.
5.
It's all right, man. It's not as good as 1, but
I still have the original patches on a vest
Oh my
that look
God.
like I'm
Heck yeah.
in a motorcycle gang. So I can't wear it. I can't.
I was
wear
about to say
that
you got to be
vest.
careful around that. Yeah.
Oh, when they used to be able to wear those.
Yep.
Yeah. That's cool.
So what do you ride now?
I have 2 bikes. I have a trike that's a CVO and a Softail Deluxe that's a CVO.
Nice.
Yeah.
Which one do you prefer to ride?
I just got the trike. I'll tell you what's nice about the trike is you can go 80 miles an hour on the freeway and not worry about your bike going like this.
Mhm. Is it the original trike or is it the road glide,
The free will.
the free will?
No, it's the Tri-Glide.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll show you guys.
Just so you know, you can take a road glide up to it. Allegedly.
Allegedly. You heard.
I heard if you modify them the correct way,
Uh-huh.
you can take a road glide up to about 135 before it starts to wobble.
Huh.
Just allegedly. Someone told me that, and I figured I would share it with you.
I appreciate that
Yeah.
story.
Yeah. It's a good one.
Do you have any pictures?
There's a video of this.
There is.
You've seen a video hunt like floating around on the internet?
I will not confirm nor deny whether or not there is
There's
visual
back of you.
evidence of this alleged incident.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, no. What else? So now you ride. So out of curiosity, so I've never been on a trike. So when you say you've been on a trike, I've always wanted to ask, can you lean it at all?
It's like riding a quad. Have you ever ridden a quad?
I've been on a quad.
It's exactly the same.
So it's
feel.
turning.
Yep.
Oh.
If you lock out, that's how you turn, right? And obviously you can't turn like you do on a 2-wheel.
Right.
You got to do a wider turn. You can't go as fast as you can. So that's why I kept the 2-wheel. So if I just decide to get out and get on it,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm a out in the country kind of rider, right? A 2-lane
Yeah.
highway. When we first moved to Vegas, you could go on a 2-lane highway for 8 hours and never see anybody,
Mm-hmm.
right? And that's what I like best. You get on the highways now and people are doing in and out and, just acting crazy. Or you see these guys on the crotch rockets going 100
does that?
something miles an hour.
Not someone named Chuck.
I don't know anyone who weaves.
That was you.
I don't ride a crotch rocket, so it wasn't me. He said a guy on a crotch rocket.
So silly.
I don't know who weaves in.
No,
and
it
out
is
of
scary
traffic.
riding in normal traffic conditions with all of these.
If you're inside the perimeter
Mhm.
and it's
Oh.
in traffic,
No, it's misery.
Nobody wants to deal with
Screw
that.
that.
Right?
We lived in
Yeah.
Vinings, and right when they started building the new stadium, I was like, I can't. It's like 45 minutes of dodging death just to go anywhere. I'm not interested.
From my house, if you go east, you're out in the country.
Yeah.
2-lane highways, cows, farms. You turn right 1 mile and you're on 400.
Yeah.
So it's great for me. I just turn left and get lost.
Right.
I will say this spot is good for that too. Like right here in Cumming, you head out, you're in the mountains.
You aren't 5 miles from me.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're not that far.
So nice. You guys can ride
369.
together.
Yeah. That's,
369.
we
Oh, wow.
love heading out, hitting the dam
Mhm.
in the morning
Mhm.
or at 5:30, 6 o'clock. It's so pretty coming across the water.
There's no traffic though.
There's no, when there's no
No
traffic.
traffic, because going across the dam when there's
When
traffic,
there's traffic.
it's miserable.
These people, it's like,
It's like, can you move?
it's
Yeah.
not, there's not a stop sign in this turn,
Right.
but people absolutely, that one turn, like right as you go onto the dam,
Mhm.
that is it sharp? Yes. But
Everyone stops though. It's like
everyone
so slow.
stops. Like they get confused as to if they're going this way. And I'm just by there.
No, you're standing on your
I
bike.
usually am standing, actually.
Meerkat.
I'm surfing, surfboard. So let's talk about Buck Jones, because I'm very curious about how that got started. So first of all, who is Buck Jones?
Well, before we get started,
Oh, okay.
I've got T-shirts for everybody. Buck
Oh.
Jones T-shirt.
Oh, thank you.
Awesome.
So this is yours.
Thank you, Steve.
This is yours. And
Okay.
you are a large.
Thank you so
I am a large.
much.
Thank
And they're
you.
long
Thank
sleeve.
you.
Yeah.
That's
Ooh,
going to be
long
perfect for the
sleeve.
Oh,
ride.
yeah.
Lady cut too.
Perfect.
Oh, wow.
Love it.
Thank you
the
very
Punishers,
much.
the Punishers.
nice.
Yeah.
Look at all the
Those are all
sponsors.
the sponsors that we have.
Look
We
at
have
all
about
the-
40
How many
sponsors. We've got some
sponsors?
great sponsors.
You do. I mean, look at all this. Miller's Ale House, Killer Creek.
Law Bike. What up,
Law-
Chuck?
What
Yep.
up, Chuck?
He's great.
I love
He
Chuck.
sponsors everything we do. Killer Creek
Mhm.
sponsors everything we do. All cycle, everything we
Yes.
do.
And this is Sunday
North Georgia
coming up, the
Mountain
toy
Riders.
run,
Correct.
the toy ride. So
The 19th.
I will
This
come.
is so cool. Totally wearing it.
Registration starts at 11 o'clock, but all the vendors will be there at 9. So if you want to come down and check everything out,
Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure.
9 o'clock.
So let me set that question up better,
Okay.
because obviously we're aware of who Buck Jones is, but for the general audience who may not know, would you just kind of tell everybody a little bit about Buck Jones, who he
Absolutely.
was, where this came from?
Right. In 1991 is when Buck Jones started the toy run. He was a 20-year veteran. He was a 20-year law enforcement officer, and he was a 10-year chief of police in Cumming, Georgia.
Okay.
And he started out with 4 bikes in 91. 4 years later, Don Parkinson started joining him on the rides, and then they started growing the bike count, right? And I think at one point, years ago, it got as big as 600 bikes.
Wow.
Yeah. It hasn't been that way in a long time, but we're trying to get it back up. Last year, it was 32 degrees, and we had 311 bikes and 52
Wow.
Jeeps.
That's huge.
Yeah, the NoFo Jeepers are part of our group now.
Mhm.
They've got 3,500 members, and they think that we're going to have over 100 Jeeps this year.
Wow.
Yeah. So at 32 degrees, that was a good turnout.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be 70 degrees this year.
Nice.
Yeah. So we're hoping for
Yep.
double.
We're coming.
Come on out, guys.
Yeah, we're going.
I'm wearing
Yeah.
my shirt. I'm wearing my shirt.
Me too.
Are you doing something live?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, I think Sunday we're going to set up and do just kind of a
everybody's
live
got to
broadcast.
come
Yeah.
out and see the show.
Yeah, I think it'll be a good time.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, she's the show, but I'll just kind of I'll just kind of sit back in the corner and talk.
Stop.
But no,
You guys will be the voice behind
Yeah.
the star.
we'll just put her out in the front. But no, we're excited about it. We definitely are going this weekend, and for sure we're going to do something Sunday, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Sunday, the 19th. Registration's at 11, and then we ride out at 1.
Correct. And we go to Veterans Memorial Park, where everybody gets to eat for free.
Nice.
Aw.
Awesome.
So we've got the Miller's Ale House,
Yes.
Texas Roadhouse. We got a brand new vendor this year, Rock and Roll Sushi,
Oh, I love
Nice.
rock and roll sushi.
Yeah.
Mhm.
and the Crave. And so
Cool.
every year since I've been involved, they've just been great. Everybody just loves the food. We give tons of things out at the last stop. And this year it's the only stop.
Mm-hmm.
Last year we gave a hot air balloon ride for 2.
Wow.
We gave a green egg. We gave
Wow.
tons of giveaways from restaurants and distilleries and those kinds of things. So it takes about an hour and a half just to do the giveaways, right?
Mhm.
Then we have the 50-50 raffle, and it's a lot of fun. Everybody enjoys it.
Yeah, when you said free with the food, and then you named all this great food, I was like, you had me at free. It's like when it says food's free, and people are like, well, what is it?
Really?
It's free.
People don't know about the food until
Yeah,
they get
but it
to
sounds
that.
great.
Yeah, and then they go, what is this?
Yeah, it's like the shirt. He's like, what size are you? What size is it?
It's a free shirt.
It's a free shirt. Absolutely.
No, that's
It's going to fit.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's awesome that these companies have, donated their services and food to help with this huge, benefit that you're doing. So,
Right. And every year we get someone else that comes on board that wants to be long-term involved. Legends Distillery this year said, we want to be long-term. We just don't want to do it for this year.
Mhm.
Right. Killer Creek came on and said, look, we want to do this long-term.
yeah.
All Cycle's been there since day one. Right. So we have a lot of people that are committed and give really good Law Bike. Chuck is
Mhm.
awesome.
Yeah, Chuck's
You know,
great.
It's just a good feeling that people want to help out.
Yeah.
Right. Just yesterday, the Punishers went Christmas shopping.
Oh, I bet that was fun.
$7,000 in toys at Walmart.
I saw
You
the
can
pictures.
imagine the cash register. I mean, the checkout
The
person,
cashier,
right?
yeah.
Right. Going, what is this?
Right.
Yeah.
So what happens is someone like the Punishers or the Widow Sons will go up to the register and go, okay, we want $3,000 in $10 gift cards. And they go, what?
Mm-hmm.
We don't do that. Well, yeah, you're
Yeah.
going to do it today.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, right. And so they just, whatever length of time it takes for them to print it out, they just stand there and wait for them to do it. So it's great. It's great.
That's awesome.
The different clubs
Mhm.
that sponsor us, the Widow Sons, the Punishers, North Georgia Mountain Riders, the Patriots,
Mhm.
all do charities all year long. And most people don't know that, right?
Right.
Almost every weekend, they pay $25 to take a ride for people they don't even know, right?
Yeah.
Trying to help out a family or people in need, or a soldier that went down, or a brother that went down, or a sister that went down.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That need help with their bills or medical payments or something like that. And people outside the motorcycle community don't realize how much bikers
Mhm.
put back, right?
I know.
That's something we talk about quite a
Yeah.
bit on this podcast, is the community that bikers have. We said, what is it, like 6 of us get together and all of a sudden we want to save the world.
Right.
It's like,
But here's what's nice about the community. Everybody knows everybody. We talked about Ponch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody knows that name. Or, certain people just have
Mhm.
that likable personality. And if you know that person, they know that person, and you know that person.
Right.
Right.
And it just becomes a community that, oh, yeah, I remember you. I
Mhm.
remember we did that ride 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
well, since we're talking about it, what specifically does it do now, the organization? Because the reason I was excited to have you on is it speaks to me, right? When you grow up certain ways, sometimes you don't have a lot. So anytime you get something, I can't imagine what it must have been like for someone who grew up in your scenario where literally there's no one there to give you anything. To get a toy out of nowhere probably meant a lot to you. definitely meant a lot to me growing up.
Right.
So this particular, this particular organization has always kind of spoke to me. So if you don't mind, would you?
There's 3 major charities that we give to: Care for Kids, DFACS, right, and then the Place. And the Place does all the giveaways at this church and school combined. And every room is designated to a different age group. It could be 11 years old or 12 years old or 3rd grade or 4th grade. One room might be all Barbie dolls. The next room will be all bicycles. And if you guys are available the 11th through the 16th, I'll take you with me. And you can actually see what this is all about, right? And once you see this, it just amazes you how organized they are. The Place has their food bank inside. Looks like you're in Costco. Right.
Yeah.
And they have all these bags lined up that they're giving away to different families. And you're just going, oh, man, I'm really happy to be a part of this.
Got some supply chain going on.
Right.
Got 3PL in there.
Right.
Organization.
You don't realize how organized or how long they've been doing it until you actually go see it. Right. Then you're going, we thought we were organized. No, these people they really know what they're doing.
Yeah.
Right? It's like when you see Chick-fil-A knowing how to do the line really fast.
Exactly.
And everybody needs to learn from Chick-fil-A, right?
You could learn a lot of things from Chick-fil-A.
Right. But when you're in this kind of thing, thing, you can learn from these different charities what you're doing wrong, right? Or what you can add to, because every year you're learning something new, something bigger, better, faster, an organization that really needs you. This year we added Hall County, which we didn't have in the past. So now we're going to find a charity in Hall County that we can help out, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
That's huge.
Yeah. Here's why we do what we do, where we do it. Forsyth County, Dawson County, White County, Lumpkin County, and now Hall County. Everybody's heard of Toys for Tots, and they are a great organization, and they help out a ton of kids. And I applaud what they do. But our counties, they don't give the toys out here. So we're the ones that do that, right? We collected over 5,000 toys last year that we gave out, right? So the kids in our county don't get anything unless organizations like us help out. And you can go into the Place and see we're not the only one that helps out, right? There's all that stuff comes from somewhere, right? Different groups, and it could be outside of the motorcycle community, right? That does the same exact thing that nobody hears about. Nobody gets patted on the back. You know, we don't do it for it to be patted on the back. We do it because it comes from our hearts, right?
And that's the right. That's the right reason to do it.
Right.
I don't want to go off on too much of a tangent, but one of the things that I just love the whole thing. And one thing I love about it is that it's the local community getting together to do something for people in their community. I think a lot of people are under the impression these days, unless it's a government program, that, well, no one's going to take care of the people that need it. I don't think that's true at all. I think that if the government would get out of our way and let us use our money as we should,
I agree.
Human beings would turn around and help other human beings.
Well, you see that anytime there's a huge crisis,
Yep.
right? 9/11, everybody was helping everybody, right?
Yep.
And communities way far away from New York were sending whatever they could to help out.
Hurricane
Exactly.
Katrina, I think about
Right.
things
Yeah.
like these big events where people all over the country came in who had special skills or
Right. It just shows how people really would react in those kind of situations, right?
Yeah. Are there assholes out there? Absolutely. But if we were free to run them out, we would. Right.
Give them their own state.
It's
It's an island.
it's interesting thing that you said island, because I always use this thought exercise about the assholes in the community, right? It's hard when you have 350 million people. That's why you can't have these overreaching entitlements, because you cannot tell who the assholes are and who's taking advantage of the system. The island thing you said is one of the examples I always use. She's heard it a million times. If there were 10 of us on an island, we'd know who the asshole is, and he wouldn't last very long.
Right.
You don't feel well today? Sorry, we have to eat.
Right.
Oh, you only want to work 4 hours a day? we don't have that luxury. So you just go over there and starve to death while we take care of, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry. But yeah, it's one of the problems we have is that when you get so big and you have so many entitlements, the people who actually need it are usually the last ones to get it.
Yeah.
And because everybody else learns the system. No, this is a grift. I know how to get this thing. And so whenever I hear about local communities coming together, local organizations coming together to support their own, it's always inspiring to me.
Super inspiring.
Yeah, I said that last week or a couple weeks ago when I was talking to the Punishers. And I was like, Dan, like you guys are the ones you guys are the ones that inspire me.
Yeah.
You know, that's the stuff that I get excited about.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
The Punishers every weekend. Sometimes they're out of state doing some charity work, right?
Yeah.
They've got chapters everywhere. And as a brotherhood, they help out different chapters in different states for different reasons, right?
Right.
They might not even know the reason that they're there. They've heard they need help. And so 500 of them will show up for some kind of fundraiser. And the very next week, they're in a different state. The same guys go to that state to help out for whatever reasons over there. But the Punishers are great. The Widow Sons are great. Every weekend they're helping out different organizations or people. The Patriots, North Georgia Mountain Riders, and there's a million different riding groups that are just like that.
Right.
That nobody thinks of or knows about or don't need to get patted on the back, so you never hear their names. Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love that's like what we do with the Litas Atlanta. Every year we donate and fundraise for Cure Childhood Cancer. It's something that's really near and dear to our heart. Kevin Kennedy, the chief operating officer, he rides. He's a part of this small riding group called the Mild Hogs.
The Mild
Cracks
Hogs.
me up every time.
It's like 5 or 6 of them. I don't know, but they're so cool, and they're they go cross country riding and things like that. But he really, his son they helped him out when his son had cancer when he was a young guy. So it really is something that helps us feel like we're giving back to the community. It's something that we can kind of rally around and really, it's just very endearing to do something like that. And in turn, I'm going to, reach out to the girls for us to show up and show out for the Buck Jones Run. Because, it's something that we all love to do, is to help, number one, we love to ride. So that's a given.
Right.
But then to be riding for a cause and to help, people in need.
Well, next year, we're going to do the first Tuesday of every month at Miller's Ale House.
Nice.
Bike night.
Okay.
They donate 10% of what comes through the register to Buck Jones, right?
Huge.
We're also going to do a golf tournament, and that'll be a lot of fun. It'll be a totally different type of group, right? But we'll get those people involved, right?
That's huge.
And they might be the golfing community, kind of people, right?
Yes.
And then someone will come up with an idea and Steve will go, I can get that to work. I can get people to that. I'm usually pretty good at getting people to an event. And if someone says an idea and I go, oh, it sounds pretty good to me. Let's see if we can get it to work.
That's cool.
So I definitely want to, I'm not a golfer. I've lived on 3 golf courses in my life and but I will golf for an event like this, right? I can hit the ball a mile, putting, forget it.
We'll stand at a hole.
Yeah, we'll hand out alcohol. You want to drink? You want to drink? It'll help you feel better about your game.
That's the golf cart girl.
Yeah.
Right.
I had one experience in golf where I thought for like a couple hours, I might enjoy this. I might be okay at this.
Really?
Yeah, I went out with a friend of mine who was getting married. We went out to a strip club, so it was a bachelor party. We were out till like 5. Our tea time was like 7:30, so we all went to tea time drunk, and it was literally the first time I ever touched clubs, ever. And I hit like a 120, like without, and I was like, is that good? And they're like, yeah, that's pretty good. And I was like, I don't have any idea. And I still could not duplicate that if I ever tried.
Yeah.
So I have no idea how to do it. I don't want credit because I know that's not great. It's not a great score, but for someone who's never touched clubs, because 2 hours later, I was like, you know what? Let's play another round.
Let me go buy some clubs.
Right.
All right, now I'm all
I'm
in.
glad I did that before I bought clubs because I was garbage. I guess that my superhero power is hungover. I don't know. Every golf game I'd have to be hungover to play, right? But no,
Yeah.
that's
not a
my
good-
only golf experience.
Right.
Other than Top Golf,
You
not
know what
bad
the
at
best
that.
hole on a golf course is?
Which one?
The 19th hole.
Yeah.
When you're not, doesn't exist.
That's the bar. at the
Oh,
end.
there you go.
Aw, thank you, ma'am.
A hole in your
Oh my
wallet.
God.
And you're all done. The
Yeah.
19th hole.
My understanding is it's a really expensive hobby.
Yes.
It is.
Wait a minute.
As you ride motorcycles.
As I ride
And build
motorcycles.
the engines up. Right.
I wonder honestly, like how much more money I would have if I was
Don't wonder that. Don't wonder.
if I had a different hobby.
Oh, well, it would be golfing and you'd be spending it on
I'd
something
use
else.
it on something.
Yeah.
You would.
Yeah, in this scenario, I get some therapy out of it.
Yeah. You spend it on something else.
That's right. That's right. That's like that. I don't need therapy. I have a motorcycle. Therapy is only like $200 a visit.
So you need something more expensive.
A motorcycle's way more expensive.
But you need that twice a week.
Twice a week. That's true.
True.
That's true.
True.
That's true. That usually comes with a bunch of candy too. Yeah, that's pretty expensive.
This weekend, do you want people to bring toys as well?
Correct. Toys, gift cards, or cash. We do have a GoFundMe for people that can't attend.
Okay.
It's the Buck Jones Charity Foundation at GoFundMe.com. So if you
Perfect.
can't be there and you do want to donate, you just want to give a gift,
Yeah. So tomorrow night you have a bike night. Give everybody the details on that.
that is at Miller's Ale House off of 400 in Dawsonville. Starts at 7 o'clock. We'll be until 10 o'clock. We'll have Killer Creek. We'll have the Calendar Girls again. It seems like that's a theme that we're going to have from now on. We'll always have the Calendar Girls. I approached Keith about
Mhm.
putting the calendar together for Killer Creek. No other Harley dealership has their own calendar.
Oh,
They have
nice.
that the one that everyone sells, right?
Right.
They could have their own girls. They could have the bikes that come into the dealership that they like,
Mm-hmm.
right? And then they can have their employees in the background so they feel like they're a part of the calendar,
Yeah.
right?
Get our
And
bikes
so-
in there.
Right,
They build them.
Right.
right.
They would be
So-
proud to have them in there, I bet.
Absolutely. And so different ideas like this. I approached Keith again. I took Legends with me,
Mm-hmm.
and I asked Lane from Legends, can you put Killer Creek's label
Ooh.
on a bottle of alcohol?
Mm.
And he
Heck
said,
yeah.
absolutely. I said, can you design it, and we'll go up to Keith and see what he thinks. Keith fell in love with it because they would be the only Harley dealership with their own brand of alcohol.
Yeah.
They could give it away when a bike is sold. They could give it away at contests. They
Weren't
could,
we talking about that?
We've talked about doing
We were
that.
talking about different levels of like giveaways for different types of bikes that they sold.
right,
That would have been cool.
right. And then Lane took it one step farther and said, I'll go to all the liquor stores around Killer Creek and see if we can get it in. So it could turn into something that makes
Good
a
for
couple
them.
dollars. Dan, the owner of Killer Creek,
Yeah.
Mhm.
I'm sure he would love to have his own labeled alcohol.
Oh,
Yeah,
for
he
sure.
would.
Of course, Dan would. Of course. he would.
So we'll see. We'll see what happens.
So bike night tomorrow night, Miller's Ale House. First of all, that's a great spot for a bike night. We've been there
Yeah.
a couple of times.
Well, what's nice about Miller's Ale House is their food is not bar food. It's,
Yeah, it's good
real
food.
food.
It's good.
Right?
food,
It is
yeah.
good food.
So not only are you having fun at a bike night, you're eating food that tastes good.
That's
Mhm.
always been important to me, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes you'll end up at a bike night that's again, there's room for all kinds of places. I like hole in the wall bars. I
Right,
do. I love
right.
going in there and drinking, right? But I'm not there for food,
Right.
And when I go to a bike night, it's usually when I'm eating dinner because I didn't have time to eat dinner or whatever. So I want good food. And Jimmy's Tequila is a good spot for it. Miller's Ale House is a good spot. Hola Taco. That was a good
Mm.
bike
Yeah,
night
Taqueria.
too. They had some good food.
You always change your name.
Hola Taqueria. I call them Hola Taco. They're so good. But so that's a great bike night. And then the rest of the details for this weekend.
Okay, so Sunday, 9 o'clock, the vendors start showing up. 11 o'clock is registration. And we're going to have a bunch of vendors. And next year, we're going to have a ton of vendors. Tiffany Bunkin, who ran Moonshine Festival, also runs Care for Kids, was in charge of all the vendors. So we're going to contact the vendors that she used last year, weed through them, what makes sense to a bike event, right? We don't need the artsy craftsy things that wouldn't do well at,
no one can bring home our big artwork.
It's not a Renaissance fair.
Right. So
No one wants your sage, Sharon.
Stop it. Leave
How did
Sharon
you know
alone.
me?
No one wants your sage.
I only saged your house once.
And guess what? It didn't work because there wasn't a ghost here before.
I was a little worried. It's fine.
Snap.
It's
I thought
because
I saw something out there.
You didn't.
He
There's
saw
no
something
ghost.
passing in the hallway.
oh, that's nice,
What would
Steve.
make sense, we'll get as vendors, right? And
Yeah.
that way people have fun walking through, looking at things. You know, it could be jewelry, motorcycle jewelry, right? We've got a vendor that's coming out for Sunday that was at Killer Creek's 24th anniversary, right?
Yeah.
We also have a young lady that does the cigars, right? There's a lot of motorcycle guys that love cigars and girls.
Oh, yeah. I'll have some
I'll
with me.
smoke a good
Right.
cigar.
So that young lady will be there, right? So we're testing out the vendors this year and see how well the people like the vendors, right? And we all know there's going to be a certain amount that everybody's going to love, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we'll talk to Tiffany after Sunday, go through all of her vendors, see what makes sense. We're going to have the board look at it for the toy run.
Yeah.
Does this look good? Does this look good? Do you think people would like that? Kind of weeding through,
Mm-hmm.
right?
And we'll be there. We're going to do a live show. So if you see us, come say hi. We'll bring some stickers.
Yeah, come
We'll
out
hand
and
them
say
out.
hi.
We'll hand them out while supplies last.
Do you want to have your bikes parked in front of
Please.
your?
That'd be great.
Okay. Yep.
We
That'd be
definitely
great.
want
That's
that.
what I kind of
Yeah, we can't leave Kiddo and Callie out.
And Lolita.
Yes, and
You're
Lolita.
bringing
I'll
Lolita?
bring Lolita.
Lolita.
Now that she's running very well, so I'm very grateful. But yeah, it's Alita's bike. So
Perfect.
Does
yeah,
it match the helmet? You said it matched. Have you
it does.
seen this helmet? So
Yeah, it
cool.
looks great.
Isn't it nice? It's a scorpion helmet.
I don't know how they do that.
Hang on, Chuck. I'm going to move your
It has a
hand.
nice graphics. And it comes with the
Hang on.
gold
Here it is.
mirror visor as well. Which
Z, you should be showing this.
You
off.
should. Well, both of you.
I
It's
think
a
it'll fit.
beautiful.
That won't- That's gorgeous.
yeah.
So pretty.
Very
We did a
pretty.
video for it earlier.
That's the Lito's
It's their signature helmet.
signature helmet.
Mm-hmm.
It's nice. That is such a cool design on it. See the snakes on it?
Yes.
Yeah. All right.
Who was the one that did the design?
So the founder of the Litas,
Mhm.
Jessica Wise
Okay.
in Utah.
Nice.
She's out of
Yeah.
Utah. Yeah.
They collaborated with Scorpion to make
Mhm.
their own. It just came out, I think,
Yeah.
yesterday or today.
It came out today.
Mhm.
And so for the Litas, they don't charge membership fees or anything like that to be a part of the group. It's just all inclusive for the women. And the way she's able to fund the Litas groups is she has her clothing line, which is Hell Babes. And she comes out with different designs weekly almost. So
Click, 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 click. Would she want to come out and be a vendor at the Sunday's event?
I wish. She lives in Utah.
Oh.
So
Yeah.
Oh,
we'd have to maybe next year. I
Yeah,
can probably talk
yeah.
her into it.
that would be great.
Yeah.
That'd
We
be cool.
we're getting ready to do some shirts too. So hopefully by next year's we'll be able to bring some of those out to it as well.
Well, let's
Yeah.
plan on you
If
guys
you-
doing live next year. Let's just make it
Yeah.
a yearly thing.
We
where
could do that.
know
Yeah.
Yeah.
If
That'd be
you
great.
if we have enough notice, we could probably do like a Lita's pop-up tent or something.
Yeah,
gonna
you got
say,
to lead
get
us
it
come
out
to
out.
help them.
Yeah.
There are so many different branches that are close enough, like
Mhm.
Chattanooga and Lake Lanier, obviously,
Yeah.
Fayetteville,
Athens.
We'd love it.
Athens.
You know, and after the show, let's talk about reaching out to some of the folks that we know
Right.
that might want to participate in this, because we know
That's
a few
true.
vendors that we've worked with over the years that would love to get
Yeah.
involved
Or at least sponsor.
or sponsor
and stuff.
something. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So Sunday, what time you said the earliest to be there?
9 o'clock is when vendors are starting to set up.
Okay.
11 o'clock is registration, and 1 o'clock kickstands are up.
And what can people expect at Kickstands Up?
Well, let's back up a little bit.
Okay.
Some of the things that we do at the event, we have Boy Scouts that come out. They do the Pledge of Allegiance. We have Buck's widow, Treva, do the ribbon cutting.
Oh,
Yeah, so there's a ceremony. Last year she cried. She said it was the best one.
Wow.
That Buck would have just been really impressed on what it turned into, right? We have prayer right before everybody goes. And then the ride this year, we had 2 stops before. One was half hour. We'd give away, eat, and go to the second stop. Where the ride has been doubled. It's an hour-long ride. It's 29 miles. And we just do the one stop. And that's where everybody eats and all the giveaways will be done. We'll spend about 2 hours there. One of the complaints was it was really late. When we did 2 stops, it was late. It was getting dark. It was getting cold, especially last year when it was 32 degrees.
Yeah.
So it was a little chilly, right? So this way at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, it's still daylight outside. You don't have to worry about it getting chilly. It's going to be 70 degrees this year. It's going to be phenomenal, right? So we should get a big turnout this year.
Yeah, I hope
we're
so.
hoping.
That's the dream.
Yeah.
We're looking forward to it.
So I'll let you guys know a week after what kind of toy collection we get. So I'll give you a follow-up on.
Oh, you got to come in. You got to come in and update us on everything.
Okay,
Tell us how it went, and we'll dive into more about you as well. Because I imagine we had a purpose tonight. Like, we wanted to talk about this, but I imagine you have a lot more stories.
Oh,
yeah, like
we got Vegas, baby.
You got Vegas. He was talking about memorabilia he collects and stuff. That'll be a lot of fun to talk about. But I do want to thank you so much for coming on the show. It was really important for us to have you on. We really wanted to get this out.
Yes.
Yeah. So thank you so much.
So
thank you for having me.
Bike night tomorrow night, Tuesday, Miller's L House in Dawsonville, 7 p.m. until 10. Come out, bring toys, and then also
3 toys.
3 toys. Unwrapped, please.
That's right.
No wrap toys.
Set expectations. Yep. We need
cards.
3.
Yep.
And gift cards.
I'm with you.
In small increments.
Let me tell you about the gift cards real quick.
Okay.
Yes.
When someone comes into the system, what they do is they give them 3 outfits. They have to give them toiletries, right? So the gift cards help pay for those.
Gotcha.
Then they get into the system, but when they start school, they're still not in the school system, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the gift cards helps pay for their food while they're getting into the system. So those gift cards do a lot more. People think, oh, they're gift cards and they're just going to go to Walmart and they're going to do this. They pay for all the things that you don't see, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
And we had about $6,500 in gift cards last year. So that lasted all year long for these organizations, right? $10 here, $10 there. You don't think of that, but if a kid can't eat, that $10 fed that kid, right?
Yeah.
So
awesome.
That's what those gift cards go for. The toys are great.
Yes.
And every kid should have a Christmas with toys and,
that's right.
And that, all right? And when all this started years and years ago, I don't think Buck ever realized what he had started, right? Because when he passed away, it hadn't gotten to the potential yet, right? He just didn't have someone out there getting the word out, right? It was him and his group of friends. He knew that the community would help, right? They knew that they would take care of the kids, but he just didn't get it to as large. He did get it to 600 bikes at one point. We need to get it, back to that and more, right?
Yeah.
Just think of what the total dollar amount would be if you had 1,000 bikes, or the total toy count or the gift card count, right?
Well, someday you're going to talk about that. If we never dreamed we would get this far, but it's growing.
Yeah,
that's right.
It is.
So 3 toys, gift cards. They're not going to buy liquor with it. They're going to buy toiletries and things they need. So don't be afraid of gift cards and food.
And the Buck Jones Toy Run is Sunday, the 19th, 11 a.m. Registration starts at the Cumming Fairgrounds in Cumming, Georgia. And kickstands up 1 p.m.
1 p.m. All right.
Yes.
Thank you much.
Steve.
Your Instagram handle is at Mr. Vegas 711, Z883,
Yes.
Instachuckgram, at Sharon Klein.
Yeah.
All right, everybody.
Yeah.
Sign us out, Z.
Remember to like and subscribe and tell us what you think about this episode. Thank you guys for coming on and checking us out.
Yep. Shiny
next
side
time.
up. Peace.
Bye.